All right, good morning. I think we are live in the studio and just kind of the title says a lot. Basically, I've been doing this process this year, 2025, been, pretty transparent on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And so I'm getting the rundown of the process. It's kind of tricky. Um, I'm going to be taking the goal is to pay the fee for the class, whatever, and be able to really dedicate a lot of time to that book learning and reading and supplementing my study with AI because there are modern things going on as far as what actually it means to be in the music industry, to produce music, to write lyrics, to protect, my art, which as a poet may not seem like the most valid um, in the musical world, but as far as I'm concerned, it is because I sing a lot when I do things, right? I've been working on the railroad. We all know these work things. Okay. And but now we're getting into industrial complexes, right? So an industrial complex is like the business, like the structure of the business, the whole complexities of entertainment, right? So we talk about the medical complex, the war, industrial. There's a lot of industrial complexes, right? You look at the natural gas industrial complex. It's mining industrial complex. Every like major business, in the modern age, it's kind of an industrial complex. It's not a simple thing. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of sections, a lot of specialties, and this is um, it can be a difficult thing if you don't have, like, for instance, a mentor, someone that you can learn from, that can kind of show you the ropes of the business and everything. I got a gentleman that's been in the industry for some time, independent label, and so I kind of once a week, once or twice a week. I know he's busy, so I try not to bother him too much. He kind of sets me on the right direction, right? As far as what I need. And I'm going through the processes of this. Okay. So things like registering your poem, your words, your composition, your recording. These are all very, particular and specialized aspects of this industrial complex. And that's just to protect yourself. We're not even talking marketing yet. And so I'm going through this process. I'm learning my way is cutting edge, and I'm risking a lot by doing this, by saying, hey, this is my work per se, this is my art form. But I want to show you something, because this is what I ended up with. Okay. So I had put in some things on the bot, right? And I'm trying to come up with a theme song, right? That kind of fits me, that fits, what I'm trying to experience, I guess, more on the along the lines of the musical industry idea of setting a brand, right? So setting a brand is kind of important when you think about, marketing and business. And that's all fine and dandy because I understand that that's, kind of how things are in today's day and ages. You got business, you got people trying to make a living, and that's kind of the system we're in right now, right? I kind of have I beat to a different drummer per se. It's not that I haven't worked or I don't believe in equitable transactions. It's just being in the music industry and the entertainment industry has really taken a very interesting turn for me because it has to do with mass media. Okay. It has to do with, common grounds. Music, especially, is a really, vibratory gathering point, per se. Back for human history, the tribal storytellers and rhythmic speaking. Anyway, so you may have heard the experiment before where I had put in some of these profiles where I was just kind of, maybe not goofing off, but maybe goofing off because that's me, and just kind of sharing that part of me um as a profile. Like, I always thought it was funny. How can you describe a person with, you know, however many words they allow in these descriptions? So I put it in the bot and I came up with this. And it's really interesting because my I'm just so contrarian. Like, my mentor, or I guess you'd call him my mentor, I don't know, a friend of a friend who said, "Hey, buddy." I'm like, "Hey, friend, what do you think?" And he's like, "Oh, talk to my other friend." But he's been an amazing help, right? Like, I don't think I would even be on the track that I am now, if it hadn't been for friends, and for like being like, "Hey, this is just me connecting with people and on a one-on-one basis or on, a group of friends or whatever." And so I came up with it, and these are just kind of I don't know. I guess that this song, the boring song has my name in it because I just searched AA Ron, right, to find out what exactly is going to come up in this search because I wanted to play this theme. And it looks like, yeah, a boring song did come up, um, which is another poetic verse by me. And so this is where I'm at because I may have made a mistake um, in publishing first, um, before filing protection. Now, according to the government, the act of publishing in and of itself is protected under law, under statutory law in the United States, right? Um, but as far as registering for that protection, or for how shall we say, you know, exercising those rights, those protected rights. As far as how do you do that? How do you, say, "No, that's my song. Pay me if you're going to use it." Right. And so this is the whole process I've been going through this first month. And so what I'm going to, I guess, do is um, share with you what I'm going to do because I do want to be transparent. Right. And so what I'm going to do is share the entire screen. Um, and kind of just live stream, come right along with me on my process. Okay, come right along with me on my process. I'm in a new tab. I'm going to ask Google, how do I register a poems, right? How do I register a book of poems, right? So basically, that all my compositions, okay, are start out as poetry. Okay, to register a book of poems in the United States, you can go to the Congress, select Library Works, create an account, which I already have, select copyright registration, select register a new claim, fill out the form, pay the fee, submit the copies of your work, wait for the Copyright Office to review and process your application, receive an email confirmation once your application is approved. So also, this is why I'm doing this transparency experiment, to show that this digital work and metadata, title, author name, publication date, correct type. So this metadata, right? This is the information that is stored in the copyright publication, the correct type of copyright claim, right? A filing fee. A single work such as a poem, book of poem, or piece of music. A collection of works such as a book of poetry, as long as the work is assembled as such. Unpublished collections of 2 or more poems if they meet certain conditions. So this is all when that's so providing legal proof of ownership and protection from others copying and selling your work without your consent. Okay. Life of the author plus 70 years. So by paying that fee, so basically I have to re-engineer my process. I have to go and file this registration of my poetry. Secondly, when I compose my works, when I put together my songs, be it using the voice activation, um, there's a lot of different ways people use technology to create music. With assistive technology, I believe I have learned some examples and access points where like I could literally hum a tune to the robot and say, "Oh, can you play this in guitar?" Ding 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 ding. So it's very interesting to me that I'm able to use my voice box for this. So I don't know if I have total uh, stuff like that, but you can see that all these sponsored, they want you to come in 3-step registration, dot, 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 and they do this for you. Go into the copyright office and pay, and they charge a fee for that. So it can be kind of annoying to go through these steps and without any guidance. So it may be worth it to you to pay the extra fee, right? So this is where I'm going, because you don't necessarily need the LegalZoom or the trademark engine to do any of this. You just go in. I filed for a trademark and I got it. Never used it and it expired. But that happens. Someone like me who just has like ideas and wants to explore this. And that is what I'm doing. So, that being said, um, although it is a bit unorthodox, I have published my poem. And this poem, has not necessarily been filed for copyright. Okay, so as I'm working through my process, which is take and make a document, format it, um, with all my poetry that I intend to convert to songs, it's real important that I follow this process. See, so it's kind of interesting to me because I'm a very social person. I want to share, oh, look what I can do. You always want to show your friends, look what I did. In fact, a lot of my poetry was first written, in correspondence with someone on a platform, namely Facebook. And Facebook's little thing says, oh, we get to use them. So they're taking all this copyrighted stuff and all within their platform is using it. And that's fine. Because that is a bit of interaction engagement. But as far as this registration process goes, this allows me to not only have the copyright because I did write the poem, I did per se publish many of these poems, whether it was published privately or publicly. I mean, there's little innuendos, but it's that I'm working on. So I could take this poem, register the poem, convert it into musical notation, um, use whatever technology, instrumentation, and or utilitarian AI, whatever you want to call it, to put that word composition along with musical composition to make a song, and again protect that song. Okay, again, that's a different registration, right? So I'm registering the poetry as a book of poetry, a book of words. Then I'm registering the music as a song. And then I'm registering the recording of that song, right? So this is where the whole hierarchy of the entertainment industry is kind of put together. To where these specialists, you got a recording specialist, you got a guitarist. And so that is where I am at with this. So, um, and it's just weird because I really like this way this song came out. And it's really hard for me not to share this song and in fact scroll through it. And I think that's it. I think that's it for today's discussion. So that is where I'm at. And I guess if you made it this far, it's like this is the vocals, right? So why not read my poem out loud with a robot voice? Come on. Why not accompany it with song? Well, because there's there are unscrupulous people in the music industry that will take your stuff, sell it, and claim it's theirs. Yes, this is true. So this is why. So this is why I think that my friend is helping me saying, do this. Register your work as a poem first. Register your work as a musical second. Register your copy of the recording. In fact, he says, get your CD and send it to yourself. See, and as far as burning a CD, I guess I gotta go buy a CD burner and really, break it down to the old school tape. Start selling my tapes and set up the portal and the digital tracking, which is here. Okay. So if you've been following the story, I have an ISRC. I registered for one PRO, and it's just a matter of continuing the process. So that is why I'm kind of not going to be doing a lot of streaming um, because I need to go do all this. All right. So I've covered enough times.